do you guys think about the sort of not the fight, but the disagreement that the psychologist got in?
Well, I kind of
can we talk about who the psychologists were and what their stances were?
Okay.
I mean, maybe not what their names were.
There
but
was one psychologist, the lady, and the other guy, what was he? I don't.
He's a writer, and I believe he's a psychologist as well.
I think he was.
But he's a published author. Yeah. I think they probably both are. But
okay. Well, one of them, the argument was about
discipline.
Yeah, like if a step parent should be able to discipline the child. And so the woman was saying that she thinks that you should be able to discipline the child, because if you don't, then you're basically telling the child that no, we're not a family, like. And she has a great point, but personally, I think that if a step parent, when you're first getting to know the child, if you automatically think, oh, I have authority that I can tell you what to do, then the child's going to push away. Personally, from experience, I know that you're going to push away and you're going to be like, oh, you're not my mom, you can't tell me what to do. You're not my dad, you can't tell me what to do. And so you have to think, I see it from both sides, but I don't agree that the 2-year thing, because that's kind of crazy.
What was the 2-year thing that he mentioned?
He said that get to know each other, live with each other for 2 or 3 years, and that's kind of too long.
Before you discipline them?
Exactly, because if you wait that long, then the child feels like he can just disrespect you and not listen to you. Mm-hmm. But if you get to know each other and understand each other's boundaries, then it's a lot easier to discipline somebody.
I mean, I wouldn't say quite 2 years. I say, you give them enough chance to.
But shouldn't be a time.
Yeah.
You should just
to when you feel like you're comfortable to say, hey, do you mind washing the dishes, or do you mind doing this?
Or I don't like you doing this. Please don't do it.
Yeah.
I don't agree with what you're doing. Stuff like that.
Yeah, you have to wait till that right time to decide that they're not doing something, or if they're I feel like if they're acting bad or disrespectful and their biological parent isn't doing anything about that, maybe you should sit down and talk about it.
Yeah, like you said, that is a marital problem too, because if the father, the blood, is not going to tell him what to do, and if he tells him what to do and he won't listen, then of course he's not going to listen to some outsider. So there just has to be common ground.
Well, you definitely. I mean, the relationship dynamic changes from almost a friend-to-friend sort of relationship, or sort of a neutral relationship, to a parent-to-child relationship. And just like any situation, when you break up with your girlfriend, you have to have time to sort of adjust.
Settle
because,
things.
And they were talking about, one thing I thought was interesting was when they were talking about the balance between, you have to establish affection along with discipline. You can't just come in with a heavy hand, and you can't just give affection without having disciplines.
You can't throw yourselves on the child, because they'll feel overwhelmed and they'll think that you're trying to replace somebody. But at the same time, don't stand off and just act like you don't want to talk to them, or just be with your kids all the time. Because I know that sometimes when people do that, then you get really upset because you feel like, oh, what did I do wrong? Why aren't you talking to me?
But I mean, like you were saying, or like Amal was saying, they're gonna be naturally connected to their own kids and favor them more because it's their own. So they don't want to feel like they're replacing anybody. So.